Hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of Prep with Miss Pam. Prep stands for Pam's Reading Enrichment Program. We know that many of the evidence-based reading programs tell us that we should teach lowercase letters first because they are the most commonly used in words. When it comes to handwriting, it's okay to teach capital letters because it's easier for students to make lines and circles easily. But when it comes to teaching reading, we're encouraged to teach the lowercase for teaching letter sounds. So what I want us to pay attention to today is that as we're teaching those letter sounds, we have to remember that many of the letters look very similar. So when we're introducing them, we're usually doing it through technology, and students are able to see the perfectly formed A, the perfectly formed H, or whatever lowercase letter that you're introducing for them to learn how to read. But when we start writing it, we can be a little sloppy and often rush, and I know I'm guilty of it. So what I want to share today is that we have to be mindful of how we form our letters for students who are just learning them. So let's look at the board. This is the letter H and this is the letter R. If I'm not careful, I can write them in a way that they can be tricky to children, especially to those who have visual issues. So I was deliberate in how I made them because I want to clarify how similar they can look, especially for children who, like a child like I was, often overlook details, children with ADHD, or either don't pay attention to details. So again, we see it with the V and the R. If we're not taking our time to form those letters as they should be formed, that can look very similar to a child with a learning disability or who struggle with reading. You see the example of the Y and the X. Again, children who these letters are very brand new to them, they already have similar shapes and formation. That can be confusing if we rush and go over the line on the letter Y just a little bit. It looks like it could be an X. And those sounds are hard to teach anyway and need a lot of explicit teaching, so we really don't want to have them confused. And lastly, the letter A and the letter Q. And I say this and I specify this and wanted to focus on it because as educators, we have so much content and so much to cover in a day that we do often rush when we're writing. But keep in mind that our children are paying attention to the letters. They're trying to make sense of the letters. They're trying to make sense of letter sounds. So when we're making our anchor charts or writing on the board, let's be mindful of how we form our letters because we want to build a nation of readers. Thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you next time.